to reach goals and overcome obstacles and be the best version of you possible will not happen by itself. It will not happen cutting corners, taking shortcuts, or looking for the easy way. There is no easy way. There is only hard work, late nights, early mornings, practice, rehearsal, repetition, study, sweat, blood, toil, frustration, and discipline.
Take a day off. No one will know. There's always someone out there who's working harder than you. I'm haunted by that motherfucker. Knowing that that someone out there is willing to forgo personal desires and comforts, forgo sleep, forgo whatever it takes to be better, to be the best. In life, a lot of times, a lot of us have that person out there. There may not be a name or a face to him, but he exists. You make sure in life when they think about that person, you make sure they put a name and face to it. You make sure the name and face is yours. You do the haunting. Get in somebody's head. Own space. In those times when you want to quit, because we're all human, you make sure you remember one thing. All those times and hours and days you sacrifice to be the best. Stay hard.
Discipline, the root of all good qualities, the driver of daily execution, the core principle that overcomes laziness and lethargy and excuses. Discipline defeats the infinite excuses that say, not today, not now, I need a rest, I'll do it tomorrow. What's the hack? How do you become stronger, smarter, faster, healthier? How do you become better? How do you achieve true freedom? There is only one way. The way of discipline.
I think that everybody wants freedom in all the various aspects of their life, whether it's financial freedom. Those are the two examples I bring up all the time are financial freedom. Of course, everyone wants financial freedom. Everyone wants to have more free time. Those are two really easy examples to understand. And if you want to have financial freedom, well, then how are you going to get there? The answer is you have to have financial discipline. And same thing with more free time. If you want to have more free time, then you have to have a more disciplined time management schedule. And you have to have discipline in your life to say no to the things that aren't actually moving you towards whatever goals you have.
I believe we're all here to start a journey. And that journey is fucking hard. If you choose your real journey. Most of us, we decide to take a different journey in life. It's a journey of least resistance. And so what I challenge people to do is to realize that in themselves, that yeah, I have taken a lot of left turns and I should have stayed straight because why? I wasn't good at something. And it embarrassed me to not be good at something, or I wasn't the smartest person, or this or that, whatever all these excuses are that we build up. Find the truth of who you are. Go back to the start of your journey and go down that path. I guarantee you, if you finish that journey and you don't fear and waver and go places that are very easy, the other end of that journey, let me tell you, it is a peaceful.
And this is the mindset behind me. If I'm going to go through the hardest training, I want the hardest spot in the worst position in the hardest training in the world. Because what that does is, if my mindset is going to the hardest place, like in Hell Week, when you're carrying the boat, the toughest spot to be in is the number one spot. It's the heaviest part of the boat, and I never left that position. Because the more your mind searches for a comfort, any kind of comfort, it will continue wanting to find more and more of it. But the way I train my mind is, I want to find the hardest location known to man. And then my mind continues to go that way versus the other way. Because once you start giving yourself a way out, oh, you know what, I'm going to run 5 miles today. I'm going to run 4 miles. You know, for me, it's like, no, I'm going to go the opposite way. So my mind continued to get harder and harder and harder because I knew the second I gave it a way out, it was going to take it.
The berserker mode. The full-on destroyer that will not stop. I think this is something that is learned. And it is a hard lesson, and not everyone gets it. And it is an important lesson, a critical one. It is the thing that allows you to go the extra distance, to dig a little deeper, to push a little harder, to get after it. And it actually takes two opposing forces to bring it to life. It takes both emotion and logic to reach your maximum potential, to really give everything you have to go beyond your limits. When it just doesn't make any logical sense to go on, that's when you use your emotion, your anger, your frustration, your fear to push further, to push you to say one thing: I don't stop.
Right? It seems like sleeping in the morning is a form of freedom, because, hey, I don't have to do anything, I'm just going to sleep in. But the reality is when you sleep in, now you don't get things done. And now those things that you were supposed to do aren't done, and now the next day you have to wake up early and get them done, not because you want to, but because you have to. So you've become a slave to the fact that you didn't have discipline. So if you actually want to have freedom in your life, you have to implement discipline on yourself. I mean, fundamentally, and this is so easy and so hard. You know, people say, how can I get discipline in my life? And I tell them, step number one is wake up early. And I know people don't want to do it. It's harsh. I know that your alarm clock is, your most hated object in your bedroom. I get that. But here's the deal with getting up early in the morning. When you get up early in the morning, if you can get up before the rest of the world is awake, right? Before the enemy is awake, before the rest of the world is awake, you can get so much done. You're so much more productive without your phone going off, without people sending you emails and texting you or calling you. And you wake up in the morning, there's just quiet, and you can get things done. And you should do things, and I do things in the morning that I know they're a priority for my life, but maybe they're not a priority for that day, right? So, like for instance, working out, you gotta work out every day. You gotta stay in shape. If you don't stay in shape, you die, right? So you gotta stay in shape. But working out might not be a priority for every single day because you've got things going on in your business world and with your family and all that. So guess what? It's a priority for my life, so I do it in the morning before my day even starts. So I can still handle the priorities for the day, but I got my workout done. So long term, I look up in a year and I'm not out of shape and breathing hard when I go up in the stairs because I maintain that discipline on a daily basis. So I think getting up early, I think doing some kind of exercise every day, I don't care what it is. You just have to do something. You have to do something physical. It's scientifically proven with not only bro science, but also real science, that waking up early or that doing physical exercise every day, it tunes your mind, it puts more oxygen in your blood, in your brain. It is absolutely makes you think more clearly. So waking up early, working out every day, if you start with those two kind of cornerstones, and then the other thing is, figure out what you're going to do during the day.
So how I motivate people is I was a broke crew leader going through all my hell weeks. And how I motivate people is give me the suckiest mother thing on the planet Earth and watch me excel. I won't say a word to you, but when you see me broke down, stuck, legs broken, and I go back to the number one spot on that fucking boat, it's the heaviest thing known to man, you're going to look at me and say, Roger that. Let me follow this guy. So I do shit by example. I do the hardest shit. So the people following me say, yeah, that's where I want to be behind that mother right there.
I have a schedule, and I execute the schedule, and that's what you need to do. Now, you actually said that my time is very structured, and it's actually a little bit not true. Parts of my day are very structured. Parts of my day are very disciplined, which gives me freedom in other parts of the day. And as a matter of fact, sometimes people will get, okay, I'm gonna run a disciplined time management schedule. So they schedule every single minute of the day. And I don't recommend that. Just like I wouldn't recommend conducting a SEAL operation where your timeline is so tight that there's no room for error, because that's not a possibility. You're going to have errors, things are going to go wrong, vehicles are going to break, boats are going to break, people are going to get lost, you're going to take a wrong turn, and so you're going to need extra time. And it's the same thing with your day. If you schedule, 16 hours of your day, you're not going to hit all your targets. But if you look at your work day and you've got an 8-hour work day where you're going to be in your office, and you schedule 4 or 5 of those hours, and you have 3 hours that you're gonna fill in and you're gonna put important things into those as they come up, that is a much better way to be successful with running a time management on your life. And so I only schedule hardcore like 4 hours a day. The other hours I'm picking up, I'm getting phone calls, I'm adapting and maneuvering on other things that need to be executed on. But what is important? Those 4 hours, they get done. They get done. And that's the difference between finishing writing a book and not finishing writing a book.